Yuji's new anti-gravity and blood manipulation armor is the key to defeating Dabura'S new technique, the combination of darkness and light, Twilight Void. After Darbra defeats Mahoraga, Yuji has already said that he will clean up and defeat Darbra. Yes, this is a fight that we are going to get, and Yuji will fight Darbra, who moves at sublight speed. How will Yuji counter the speed of light, and how will his anti-gravity curse technique play into all of this? Let's just get right into this. Be sure to leave a like on the video, helps out so much. Thank you very much. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality JJK Modulo content just like this. If you love JJK Modulo, I promise you won't regret subscribing. I'm posting every single day without stop. But without further ado, let's just start. So I'm going to divide this video into 3 separate parts. The first part will be why this fight is going to happen and why Darbra will defeat Mahoraga, why Yuji will be the one to take him on. The main chunk of this video that you're going to be interested in is the middle part, which is how the fight is actually going to go, scaling, how Yuji's new techniques are going to counter Darbra's powers as well, and the final portion of the video is narratively who is actually going to win and why, how this story is going to end. So let's just start with the first part. Yes, Darbra is going to beat Mahoraga. This is something I've talked about a couple times in a lot of different videos. The main reason is ever since chapter 18 and 19, Darbra has really been shown as a protagonist. During this fight of Mahoraga, he literally has the protagonistic role, as in the sense of he gets beat up and he's literally on the losing side, and he has the heroic rise from ash, writing style, and even has flashbacks in the same way every shonen MC has as their middle fight. Quite literally gets a power of friendship power up and has the good side of him. He literally is the hope of all the Sumerians, and he himself is a good person, protecting those that he loves. He is the protagonist. Without a question, that is how he's been written in this fight, and that's why he's gonna win. It's why I knew he was gonna win even before we saw him dance at sublight speed. But especially just from a power scaling point of view, ever since he's unlocked the darkness technique and is going to define him soon and create this combination of light and dark, whether it's eclipse, void, gray, antimatter, dark matter. I made a video on that in my last video, so I'll talk about that later on the video, don't worry. But whatever he makes and whatever domain expansion he's gonna get, it's gonna destroy Mahoraga. And Yuji already, like, this isn't even foreshadowing, this is just direct foreshadowing. Like, it's not even subtle. He literally says, you know, if Yuka Kotsu loses, Senpai's granddaughter loses, I'll take care of Darbra. And he says it pretty casually, which is insane considering he can sense this fight and knows how strong Darbra is. Now, to start off the power scaling section of the video, I'm gonna pass off to a friend of mine and a fantastic JJK YouTuber, the Eternal Flame, who will talk about the Yuji and Darbra sublight speed aspect, how Yuji's going to react to the sublight speed.
Hello everyone, I'm Eternal Flame here, and today I'm here to talk on 2 of my glorious goats from Modulo, Yuji as well as Dabura. Dabura, I have no idea how to pronounce his name, but hey, we're gonna move on anyways. I think a lot of the fandom, me included, thinks it's very likely that Yuji and him are going to end up fighting sooner or later in the future. However, there is one hurdle that Yuji is going to have to overcome much higher than others. The hurdle JJK has had to fight against, now personified within the actual show itself. Can these mock characters fight against someone at light speed? After all, Dabura is not really light speed, but he is sublight speed. So like anywhere between 1% the speed of light to maybe even 99% the speed of light. We have no idea how fast he is moving. But what's even more crazy about this is the fact that Yuji is sensing this entire battle happen. Keep in mind, Yuji has such precise curse energy sensory that he is able to alter several piercing bloods at once to make them specifically fit every single person inside of that building. Unless of course you assume every single piercing blood that Yuji fired was the same power and everybody in that building was on par with each other, which I find a little bit hard to believe. And he can sense the battles going on, and in spite of that, he is still confident in his ability to be able to take over just in case Yuka dies. Which means ultimately, at least in my opinion, Yuji probably does have some way of how he is going to be able to deal with that speed. Which is painting the picture very heavily, and at the very least, Yuji and Dabura should be close enough that Yuji is not going to be completely atomized by that speed. Yuji thinks there's a possibility that he can clean up the fight in case Yuka loses. So now the real question is, how is he going to be able to do that? Well, in my opinion, there are a few main answers for how he could do it. Now, I ultimately think the least likely one is going to be that Yuji is actually capable of moving at that speed himself, mainly because we see from Dabura that moving at that speed causes this level of destruction, so there is no way that Yuji moving at that speed wouldn't have been noticed in the past or even talked about. Up next is Yuji is going to be able to react to it and actually tank the blows coming towards him, kind of similar to how both Choso and Maki fought against Naoya, though it's going to be on a much larger scale, because at least those two could somewhat react to sound. Dabura is on a whole different tier, and if I'm being real, that's kind of downplaying it, but it could still ultimately definitely see Gege deciding to pull something similar to what happened with Naoya versus Maki. Like, Yuji might exploit the fact that Dabura is not always going to be moving at the speed of light, and after Dabura lands a hit on him, he's going to heal it off because he still has that death painting regeneration, which is still absolutely insane, and then he's going to land a blow on him. And the second last method that I have in mind is potentially that Yuji has access to anti-gravity by this point. This is mainly because back when we saw Maru fight for the first time, Sakura was reminded of Yuji thanks to the area being shifted around them. It made a lot of people, including me, think that Yuji might have awakened anti-gravity at the time. So that would be the weirdest one to explain because it'd have to explain why Yuji is awakening anti-gravity, but in my opinion there are some explanations for that. And of course there is the final explanation, which is potentially taking inspiration from what Sukuna did against Jogo. During his battle against Jogo in the anime, Sukuna completely surrounded himself in slashes. This was when Jogo was making his lava modes. So Yuji might do that here. After all, it doesn't really matter how fast Dabura can move if Dabura can't really hit him without getting damage. For all we know, it could be none of them, it could be all of them, but ultimately, Yuji does have some way to react to Dabura's light speed. He does definitely have some way to handle it, considering he is confident he's going to be able to clean up Yuka's mech. And ultimately, I do think it's going to lead into an interesting fight. Now, I know there are other parts of Dabura's technique, like the new reversal of his technique he just unlocked, but this is ultimately the biggest hurdle that I think he has to overcome until we see what that means. But that's my opinion, so I'm gonna pass it back to Kaio. Hope you all have a good day.
And thank you very much to the Eternal Flame for covering all of that. Again, check out his channel in the description, a fantastic JJK What If YouTube, and we'll be covering JJK Modulo content soon. But actually, what I really want to talk about is there's a pretty interesting theory that Yuji actually awakened the anti-gravity through blood manipulation. Basically, he actually just awakened it by having such mastery over his own blood manipulation that he awakened the recessive trait of anti-gravity. Anti-gravity may have been the technique that's sleeping within him, and his blood manipulation may be so high of a level that he actually just unlocked it forcefully that way. There's also theories that because Yuji only just became a sorcerer for a few months, maybe it would take 4 to 5 years for him to also develop his actual technique as well. These are all theories I got in my chat. I should be crediting some people on the screen right now. But the main idea is, I think Yuji may get anti-gravity, but this is something Eternal Flame talk about. It is realistically one of, if not the only way Yuji can actually counter the sublight speed of Darbra, because I really want to talk about this in even more detail, because I'll read this for you from Google. So I actually got this from Google. It says, gravity and light are connected. They are fundamentally connected through general relativity, which dictates that gravity is the curvature of space-time caused by mass, forcing light to follow these curved paths. This interaction, known as gravitational lensing, causes light to bend around massive objects like galaxies. And to even continue on from this as well, there's many aspects of this, such as light just bending or distorting around gravitational forces, and if Yuji has gravity and anti-gravity, which he'd have access to both of them, he may actually just be able to counter the sublight speed of Darbra this way. I agree with what Eternal Flame said, because it would just be insane for Yuji to begin to react to light speed. That would mean he is bare minimum tens of thousands of times faster than Sukuna and Gojo, being generous for Sukuna and Gojo. I just don't think Yuji's that much stronger than them. I think Yuji is stronger than them, but that's just an insane gap of strength, right? I think it's going to be more so anti-gravity just being such a key way of defeating Darbra and his light speed, and Yuji seems so confident. I just think he's got something in his bag as well, and this would be the answer to go around that. And another aspect of it is blood manipulation armor. I mean, just making a full suit of blood manipulation armor. We saw Choso actually, with his life force, created a ball that was able to completely tank the furnace, and considering Yuji's own strength, he may actually be able to just make a ball like that or armor on that level just casually, because that was the life force of a grade 1 sorcerer. Yuji, being honored 1 level, may be able to do that, I guess not casually, but he would be able to create such things without sacrificing his own life. That's how strong his blood may be able to be, because we even saw Choso tanked a black flash from Sukuna by using blood armor to coat and protect himself with it. That's actually something he did, so that's a grade 1 sorcerer. Imagine what an honored 1 level character could do. Well, yes, maybe Yuji can't react to light speed, but A, anti-gravity, or gravity, I guess, reversal of anti-gravity, may be able to distort and counter Darbra, who's coming towards Yuji at sublight speed, or B, he may be able to create armor strong enough to withstand it. On top of that, I actually do think that Yuji versus Darbra is going to be a great fight narratively as well, because 1, Yuji has the aura and the power of a Kalyan, but another aspect of this may cure the loneliness of Darbra even more. If Darbra actually loses to Yuji, and he actually lost, that would be his first loss in his life, I think that would completely cure Darbra's loneliness, and it may even cure Yuji's loneliness, seeing that there's an honored 1 level character around as well. I think Darbra would really begin to look up to Yuji, especially because Yuji is going to resolve everything. Darbra's whole issue has been the Kalyans, always creating problems, always making issues for the Lumilians, and Yuji, who has the aura of a Kalyan, might actually be the one to fix everything and resolve everything, because Yuji actually is the key piece to just bringing peace and harmony towards everything. I've talked about this in way too many videos. Yuji being the reason that he is the only character who could actually fix all of JJK Modulo. The whole point of the story is coexistence, and the only character who is the bridge between humanity and the aliens is the Kalyan, which is Yuji. They are more likely to listen to Yuji, who is a truer Kalyan than the cursed spirits. Yuji's closer to the Kalyans on their home planet, like we've talked about before. His body doesn't disappear, just like the death paintings' bodies don't disappear. So Yuji is going to be the key to actually making all of the Kalyans, they'll listen to him. They can literally sense he's a Kalyan, truer than a cursed spirit, like they'll obey and listen to him. So if Yuji says, guys, we're killing cursed spirits, I don't think they'd be happy about it, but they would be more inclined to listen to Yuji, who is the truest form of a Kalyan. He is literally their god. They can sense Yuji being their god. So that's why narratively, I think Yuji is going to win, just for the sake of loneliness, this theme that's going around, also for the sake of narratively solving everything. But I really want to say, like, this would just be such a great fight seeing Yuji and Darbra go at it, because this would be a great chance for us to see two characters who are above and beyond Sukuna and Gojo. And I want to say, like, it's okay that Gojo and Sukuna were surpassed. I know a lot of people don't like that. It's not downplaying them, but Gojo himself said, like, you guys are all going to far surpass me in the future. Not just talking about Yuji. He said in chapter 271, all of you are going to far surpass me. And that's how it should be. Like, for example, in Naruto Shippuden, we got characters so powerful, but then in Boruto, everyone just power cliffs. Or in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, how things just keep getting stronger. That's just naturally how a story becomes interesting. You just keep introducing characters stronger and stronger, and that's why it makes sense why Darbra just casually running around. Like, Darbra is not doing a special attack. Just running around at sublight speed is doing destruction equivalent to Sukuna's domain or Gojo's hollow purple. Like, not even including the kick itself, which is stronger than the furnace. Like, it's insane. And of course, Yuji doing a casual dismantle that's kilometers wide, like literally in terms of just the size of the single dismantle shot, dozens of times bigger than Sukuna's domain expansion, which we've calculated, right? And that's really how it should be. Like, it would be a shame if they never were able to reach the level of Gojo and Sukuna, or just not even surpass them. And it makes me excited for what's after JJK as well. But I do think that Yuji is going to, his greatest challenge against Darbra is going to be Darbra's combination of his light and darkness. Now, this is my most recent video. I've talked about this, so I'll talk about it again here. There's many concepts of what it could be. It could either be Twilight Eclipse, Gray, Void, or just a true Void as well. It could be Darkness Incarnate. An Eclipse could be a very cool concept. I mean, so many different ways Darbra's combination is going to be, and I think that's going to be Yuji's greatest challenge against Darbra, but I think Yuji's going to win in the end, and Yuji's domain expansion is going to overwhelm Darbra's own domain expansion, with his final having the name of Yuji's domain be revealed. I think Yuji's just too strong. Not to say Darbra is weak, I think Darbra is actually stronger than Gojo and Sukuna, but that's in a video for another time. I know some of you may disagree with that, but hey, let me know how you think Darbra and Yuji's gonna go. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. It helps out a ton. Thank you so much, and of course, subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality JJK Modulo content just like this. If you love JJK Modulo, like I said in the intro, you are just not gonna regret subscribing. That much I promise you. And also shout out Corey G as well, the special grade member of the channel. But that's all from me. Have a great day, everyone, and take care.